Okay, let me immediately start by saying that I did not initially plan on making this video because obviously these claims are unsubstantiated and could be complete bogus. But at the same time, I realized that I'm one of the only people that can speak on these rumors from the perspective of a Chase Sapphire Reserve cardholder. So after waiting probably a bit too long to make this video at this point, here are my completely unfiltered thoughts about the $795 Chase Sapphire Reserve as of May 21st, 2025. Basically what I'm going to do here is pull up on my computer the Doctor of Credit article about this that was posted a few days ago. To my understanding, we don't have any real updates on it since then, so I think this will be pretty accurate going forward. And we'll just kind of break down each of the proposed changes, and as somebody that holds a Chase Sapphire Reserve, I hope that my perspective is very valuable for y'all. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of FUD out there about it. Like a lot of people just hate the idea of these changes and it's coupon book style. And to be honest, I don't like coupon books in general. That's one of the biggest grievances I have with the Amex Platinum card. But I would be more okay with a coupon book if it actually fit my lifestyle. And looking at this proposed list of changes, that kind of is what's going on here, surprisingly. But again, let's go line by line here. We'll go ahead and zoom in just so we can see it more clearly. Maybe put myself in the bottom right, do some simple editing for this. I'll just highlight each of them as I go through. So the first thing that we got to talk about is the increased annual fee. Apparently, the annual fee will be increased to $795. It's an additional $245 increase from where it's at now. This is a bit of a, toss up here because on one hand, I completely understand why people don't want the annual fee to be raised, but if they add as many benefits as are listed in this proposed, rumored whatever changes, then that annual fee is very justifiable. So whether or not you're okay with these proposed changes is completely up to your lifestyle, but for me personally, it's not going to be that bad, I don't think. This would make it the most expensive consumer card out there though, higher than the Amex Platinum's $695 annual fee. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an increase to the Amex Platinum's annual fee not that far away from now. So who knows, maybe Chase would update it and then Amex follows suit and goes even higher. That's kind of just what they do, so it's a possibility. As for its earning categories, we're now seeing that the Chase Travel hotel and car rentals would be reduced from 10x down to 8x. To me, this is not a big deal at all. I've never even use the portal and use cash, I guess, to pay through the portal. I do use my points for the portal all the time. I guess the taxes and fees come into play sometimes, but if I'm only getting 2 points per dollar less on those for like $20 here and there, I don't care. The next proposed change is that the Chase Travel flight bookings in cash would be increased from 5x back to 8x. Obviously, that'd be a big win for any of y'all that do book flights through the portal like that, but doesn't apply to me, once again, so not a value add or detractor, I guess. Now we get into the more pertinent earning categories, that being that the 3x category on direct flights and hotel purchases would be increased to 4x. I mean, you can't complain about that. Once again, I rarely use this, but I'm in the middle of planning out a all-inclusive hotel in Cancun for my stepbrother's wedding. Obviously, they're the ones that planned the full wedding, and they gave us the place we got to stay. And this is one that I can't book using points, so I would just, get an additional 1x back if I wait to book that hotel on this card once those changes are made compared to booking it now. Since we don't have a specific date these are supposed to be implemented, I'm not going to hold off on that. I'll actually just use the money that I'll be spending for that trip on a new credit card offer, hopefully, but I don't know about that just yet. But yeah, that's obviously a increase in an earning category, so we like that. But the downside to that is that all other travel on the Chase Sapphire Reserve would be reduced from 3x to 1x. I don't like that. I find myself using my Sapphire Reserve for just general parking, transit kind of stuff like that. Lyft, Uber, all that kind of stuff. So if we got that decreased, well, I guess Lyft wouldn't be decreased, but you get my point. All the other travel being decreased from 3x to 1x would be a bit annoying, but you could also just use a 2x card instead of this one now for those purchases, and you're only actually losing out on 1x back. So not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but don't like that, that's for sure. Now we come to the more important stuff, the new benefits. The first one is going to be the $500 edit credit, which would come as a $250 semi-annual credit. And this is actually a collection that I've used in the past. I used it for the New Orleans creator meetup, and I actually would utilize this pretty easily because I'm booking at least 2 hotels a year. And since I can use my points to book those edit hotels and still earn points with the respective hotels that I'm booking with, by using Chase's portal and paying in points, getting just $500 more off of those bookings would be a massive plus. So, right there, you're already talking about the effective annual fee for me being made up. But I do understand that some people wouldn't want to have to book travel directly through their portal. But I would argue back that, everybody's okay with the Capital One Venture X having that annual travel credit through their portal. So you'd have to be okay with this one too. This is just seemingly the way that the banks are moving, getting you to just use their portal for certain credits, because then if you spent $500 or $250 semi-annually here, you're not going to find a hotel room through the Edit collection that is only $250 total for a stay, even for a night. So you're going to spend more money by using this credit to their portal, unless you do what I do and book using points for the rest of that stay. So that's exactly how I would use this credit, and I would take full value for that, theoretically. The $300 dining credit via the Sapphire Reserve tables, again, given in semi-annual cadence, $150 each. This is basically just like the Resi credit on the Amex Gold card in a lot of ways, and I don't think it'd be that hard for me to utilize this. Would I, dine at these places before? I don't know. I guess we could even pull up like Chase Dining and just look up what they have. If I can figure out how to get there, that is. Let me just sign in first. Okay, I finally navigated over to the Chase Dining portal. Let's do Austin, Texas, because that's obviously where I would be using this the most. And then reservation type, dine in, sure. Looks like you can even do pickup or delivery, but let's just do that. Let's say I want to do this next Friday, 7 p.m., 2 people. Just see what comes up. So yeah, like Lonesome Dove, I've heard really good things about. Scratch Sushi, also pretty popular here. Pasta Bar, Midnight Cowboys, Sushi Bar, Revenge Bar. There's a lot of places it looks like. Cidercade's even kind of cool. And I'm assuming that if it worked anything like the Resi credit, you wouldn't have to actually book through Chase Dining, and you could just go, get stuff at that specific restaurant. And since it is a Chase Dining partner, you would get reimbursed. I don't know, but if that was the case, it makes it even easier to get value from. So yeah, I would probably take this at its full value as well. And again, we're talking about $800 in value from the first 2 credits. That's pretty insane. $300 worth of StubHub credits, also semi-annual at $150. I go to at least one show a year with my girlfriend. At least we have, gone to a few together already, whether that is a concert or a comedy show. Like recently we went and saw Tom Segura. We've seen Theo Vaughn, or I've seen Theo Vaughn, I guess. We went to that concert for Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners in Atlanta last year. So we go see stuff all the time, and I don't think I'd have any issue using that. But I also usually don't use StubHub. I want to book directly with these people so they get the most amount of money back. So I don't love that credit, but could I get value from it? Probably. We'll just keep that as a tentative credit for now. But next up is that $300 worth of DoorDash credits at $25 a month. I would easily use this, especially in combination with the DoorDash Dash Pass membership that they have underneath this. Right now, the Dash Pass membership and the $10, or I guess I get $5 a month towards restaurants and $20 a month towards groceries with DoorDash right now. With my Dash Pass membership I have on the Sapphire Reserve, and I do use that pretty frequently. I don't go out of my way to use it, but if I ever just need something from like Target and I don't want to go get it, with my Dash Pass membership, it's not that expensive to get it shipped. I cover the tip plus a bit usually with the credits that I get. So that's a pretty easy one for me to get value from too, especially whenever I'm moving back into downtown Austin and become even easier to use. Next up is $250 towards Apple TV and Apple Music. I am not an Apple Music user. I'm a Spotify through and through, but I will be setting up again my new studio, new house in Austin in a couple of months, and Apple TV is something that I'm definitely not opposed to getting. So I wouldn't get it probably without having this credit, but if I got that discount, however it ends up working out, I would be much more likely to go get it. So probably wouldn't count in effectively lowering my annual fee unless I feel like the Apple TV was something I would have bought beforehand. But yeah, Apple Music I don't care about here. Apple TV could be something that's valuable. Next up is the $120 Lyft credit via 5% and $10 off per month. The $10 off per month and the 5% are already set up and going on the Chase Sapphire Reserve. This is something that I use somewhat frequently. I don't always use the $10 per month for Lyft, but it is a nice perk to have. It's an immediate $120 back. Also, basically matching like what the Platinum gives you with Uber. And I prefer Lyft way more than I do Uber. So that's, again, it just works towards my lifestyle better than the Amex cards do. Everything we've mentioned so far works for my lifestyle better than the Amex credits do. So I'm very happy to have that Lyft credit too. Then we come to the $120 for the Peloton credits, and that would be $10 per month, also 10x back. That's a complete joke for me. Some of y'all might be balling and you use Pelotons, but I wouldn't touch that. So just a null benefit. But if we included all of these, we're talking still an additional $900, $1,400. 1520, 1770, 1890. That's so much value. I don't see how they would give us all of that and only raise the annual fee by $245 and apparently leave the other stuff the same, like the $300 travel credit on top of all of that, that doesn't make much sense to me. And maybe I should check if what other people are saying about this rather than just Doctor of Credit, but that's just a ton of value. So I would not be mad at these changes at all. You also, after spending $75,000 on the card, would get a $500 Southwest credit. I'm not gonna be spending that much on this card. Southwest A-list status, not bad either. IHG Diamond Elite status, which would be great, but I'm not spending that much once again. And $250 for the shops credit, which I don't even know what that is. Maybe, I guess, Chase's shopping portal kind of thing. But yeah, $75,000 for those perks, not worth it whenever you could just get all of this already by just paying the annual fee. But there are a lot of people out there that just mainly use the Sapphire Reserve, like people that are maybe live in like San Francisco or in Silicon Valley or something. They have a lot of income and they use the Sapphire Reserve for everything. And if that was the case, then this would be perfect for them. Yeah, so all in all, my effective annual fee would be reduced drastically. I do want to mention right here, I actually took a picture of this on my own as well, but I did receive this packet in the mail with the Sapphire Reserve, and people are calling out the fact that just down here, it doesn't mention anything about 3x back on travel anymore in this pamphlet. It only mentions 3x back on dining, and that could be like a hint at the fact that they actually are going to implement these changes and get rid of that 3x back on all other travel and instead revamp it a bit, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, you can still see the $300 travel credit, global entry credit, Sapphire Lounge access, all that stuff seems to be remaining intact. So if you just tacked on all of this for a $245 annual fee or an additional part of the annual fee, I mean, yeah, it's an amazing card. I'm gonna go ahead and check a couple more sources just to make sure I haven't missed anything. And yeah, the only thing I've seen posted recently was this Reddit post posted a day ago, and people were just sitting here asking for like grocery multipliers and stuff like that. And people were like, yeah, that'd be useful. So they're not gonna give you that. I'd argue that these changes are extremely useful for a lot of people. But yeah, these are a little bit more like stipulations that people would like to see rather than the proposed changes. So yeah, again, I think my consensus here is that I don't know why people are so upset about this. I do understand that coupon books are bad. We don't like those. But at the end of the day, if this card is gonna give you, whatever I said, $2,000 worth of value in a year and only charge $795, if those credits actually do apply to your life, that's an excellent card. It's the same thing I say about the Amex Platinum. I just personally don't like the credits that that card offers compared to what were proposed right here. Just to run a quick effective annual fee calculation for you, let's just put the $795 annual fee up here at the top and start subtracting out all of the benefits that I think I actually would get some value from. I'm not going to include any of the earning categories, and then everything after spending $75,000 on the card, I don't care about either. So all of those, like the $500 Southwest credit, the A-list status, IHG, Diamond status, the shops credit, all that stuff I don't care about. I'm not spending more than $75,000 on this card. So let's go ahead and just start with the edit credit. Like I mentioned, I think I am going to be able to take that full $500 off of the effective annual fee by that credit alone, as long as they do allow you to still use points whenever you make this booking to pay most of the stay with. But I guess obviously we'll see how that comes out. The $300 dining credit, gonna take that away too. I know it's not just a dining credit, it's for the Sapphire Reserves table, and that's $150 semi-annually. I think I'd be able to use that. Again, need to know the terms though to figure that out for sure. For now, I'll take the full $300 though. Next up, we have the StubHub credit, and I'm gonna be extremely conservative with my calculations here and just say that I don't even use that one. Although I think I could easily find value from it. I'm just gonna leave it off for now. So let's go ahead and put 0 for the StubHub. We're about getting into smudging territory here on my whiteboard, so excuse that with my left-handedness. For the DoorDash, that's gonna be an easy $300 value in my opinion. I just, like I said, already used that since I have the DoorDash Dash Pass. But what I will do, again, being conservative, is actually just assign the Dash Pass credit a $0 valuation, just because I wouldn't pay for that without having this card. And the only reason I'm comfortable even taking off the full valuation for the DoorDash credits is because I would use that before having the card if I had a free Dash Pass, if that makes sense. So maybe you could take that at half the valuation or even wipe it off. It wouldn't matter. I'm still gonna be getting plenty of value. I'm just gonna take $0 for the Apple credits, even though I could technically use that, but I'm not gonna try to stretch my valuations here. The Lyft credit, I probably would use half the time. So I'm just gonna assign a $60 valuation to that instead of 120. And then the Peloton is gonna be $0 for that. So taking all this into account here, we're talking about $795 minus 500 minus 300 minus 300 minus 60. So we're already talking about a negative 365 effective annual fee. And this is just for the new stuff. This does not take into account all of the existing benefits like the $300 annual travel credit. That would add to this. Also, like y'all saw in my 1-year review of this card, I use the heck out of the 50% boost to the travel portal. That would take another like $1,000 out of this at least, I'm pretty sure based on my valuations. Then the Sapphire Lounge access, the Priority Pass access, all that other stuff is not included in this. So maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I think we kind of just got to roll with the punches these days. And if Amex is going to go the coupon book route and now Chase wants to do the same, well, we can complain all we want. It's not going to change their, final decisions here. So given what the rumors state right now, I would be completely happy with the changes, because for a $245 increase to the annual fee, which I guess maybe that's how I should have calculated this, if I just take away the $795 and just do the $245, which is the additional annual fee here, we can redo the math and you can see the difference. So it'd be $245 minus 500 minus 300 minus 300 minus 60. So just based on the new benefits alone, my effective annual fee would be negative $915. So again, take what we can get here, and I'd be very happy with that added value I got just based on my lifestyle alone. Well, there you have it. Please excuse any of my ignorance with specific details that I may have made incorrect assumptions about. Again, this was basically the first time I even looked at these rumored changes because I just didn't feel like I needed to make a video on them yet. So I wanted y'all to get my raw takes, and obviously that's what was produced. Also, obviously there could be changes to these rumors by the time that you watch this video, so don't take what I said as gospel. But regardless, I feel like a lot of y'all probably have the Chase Sapphire Preferred and are maybe wondering about upgrading to the Chase Sapphire Reserve before these changes are locked in. That way you can hopefully get them at a lower annual fee. And before you do that, I would highly suggest that you click into this video next beforehand, where I break down the differences between the two cards in detail. As always, Odin and I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and we'll catch you guys next time.